I think it is better to ask stupid question than to not ask any question at all.
I'm not the one that will put out my hand in class to ask question or face-to-face. So how did I overcome that? I emailed. Hi, I'm Claudius. I'm an art director at LASALLE.
Hi, I'm Shengjin. I'm Executive Creative Director of LASALLE, Singapore. So basically, I think first and foremost is really to give back to the industry. It's really, what I can give back, as well as, how can I learn from the graduates, because, it is something fun that I'm looking forward to every year.
On my end, I didn't actively seek out a mentorship program. I happened to chance upon Shengjin and a lot of other kind of industry people just through LASALLE, inviting like kind of guest speakers and like guest lecturers. So that's how I think we met. And yeah, I think after joining that, it certainly gave me a lot of insights and kind of just an understanding of what the industry is like, that the curriculum in school might not necessarily give.
While I'm giving back, I'm also learning from students like yourself back then. I think every year the trend and the culture change. This is also the kind of learnings that I can get. So, by having that perception, whether or not, am I good enough? But I think this is also a nice way of how, what I can get out of the students. Yeah.
Definitely. I think as a student, I think naturally, especially for me, I tend to be quite shy. So I'm not the one that will put out my hand in class to ask question or face-to-face. So how did I overcome that? I emailed.
So it's very funny. I think, Singapore youth or Singapore students in general, we are really quiet. I think it's really how do we from the start as an external mentor break the ice. I think it's really to keep it light, to keep it easy in terms of the workshops or the kind of mentorship program I plan for the students. I think back then, while we come, besides showing you the work, it's more of a conversation.
Yeah, I think that helps a lot, because a lot of time from the student's point of view, it's more of like, will I look stupid to ask this question, because I'm sure they are like way more experienced or way more knowledgeable. So I think that's one of the barriers that we had, right? It's like we're not sure. Yeah.
I think it's better to ask stupid question than to not ask any question at all. I think it really opened up conversation, and I think one point will lead to another point. One question will lead to another answer, and who knows? Maybe something great will have in the outcome. Yeah.
As a mentee, understanding that your mentor is in the industry and working around his time, and the attention that he has set aside. Like I'm sure there are some times where like I've emailed you and you're away for a shoot for like a week or two, and you don't get a reply. So there's a way to work around that by kind of being a bit patient, understanding their schedule, taking the effort to kind of work around it, and then knowing exactly what you want to get out of that interaction and keeping it very concise.
This is, I think, two good points. How a graduate should be, to have a head start. Is your strength about never give up, being persistent, constantly giving that 101% more. Yeah, which is amazing. Yeah, to be honest. So then, Claudius, how do you find whether do I have a steak approach on you?
No, I think carrot all the way. I react best to the carrot.
Yeah, I think in throughout our mentor-mentee journey, it's, I think the one big word, it's about opportunities, right? It's how much opportunities as a mentor I can give to the mentee. Yeah. It's also the memories that we can create through these opportunities, to make sure that you have the right job, you have the right career progression, moving forward into the industry. Yeah, by giving that sort of opportunities, it's really how you will treasure it as a mentee. Now as a colleague, how we can really do the best work for our clients. Right? One of the memorable journey we had is the creative opportunity, as a junior back then. We went for the Cannes Lions, advertising international film, Cannes Lions advertising festival. So with that, the first piece of work for client, close up, Claudius' work has gotten a shortlist, in an international advertising show. It's really amazing that, and the progress as a mentee back then, your first piece of work that has gotten a shortlist in an international show. Amazing, right? And we had a very nice travel experience in Cannes, learning a lot through the talks from international speakers, professionals sharing their point of view. Yeah.
The most memorable one, I don't think it's a specific moment. I just remember thinking to myself after I got hired, and that's the fact that I think Shengjin and also the other bosses and the colleagues kind of gave me a chance without having a kind of advertising portfolio. I think that's a huge thing for me, because when you're a fresh graduate, a lot of your book kind of revolves around what you do in school, and at that point of time, my portfolio wasn't anything remotely advertising related. But I thought it's really cool that you guys gave me a chance and gave me an opportunity. So so thank you. And
that's
very memorable.
Beyond the work is your attitude and aptitude. I think it really shines out.
Thank you.
Yeah. Two main things is like, are you good enough to start? Yeah. Do you have that time? I.e., is it like, when is it too early or too late, to start? I think it's never too late to start mentoring. Yeah, I think once you get into the industry, so I think Claudius, very soon, and you already been doing that with your junior colleagues, that you are already mentoring them, giving your point of view of like how can it be better, how can the idea be sharper, how can the work be nicer. I think this is never too late to start, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I actually got an interesting one. So I think the myth that I had when I was a student, or a lot of my peers around me had when I was a student, is that whenever we look at or look up to people in the industry, like the ECDs or the designers, the creative directors and all that, and they have won this, they've done this, they've done that, and they've accomplished all this, the myth is like, oh, why would they waste their time on a student, right? And I was amazed that the moment I reached out, you actually find that they are just kind of a lot more willing to help the juniors or the students than you would think. And I thought that was quite something that I didn't know when I was kind of that student myself. So yeah. It's
never too late, and you are always too good, to share for mentees that always want to listen.
Yeah, I think just do it. I think what's the best thing that could happen is you get all the experience. You get all the information, you get advice, you get an insight to the industry. You get doors and opportunities open up for you when you reach out to people and when you kind of approach them with the mindset to learn. The worst thing that could happen is you end up with a new connection. So it's like a win-win situation, I feel. So yeah.